Yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby, yeah. You don't say ready on this. You know I have patience.
Hello, greetings, family. This is Kyle Dixon here, and we are here for another exciting, fulfilling, informative episode of the Grand Rising Collective. Now, if this is your first time watching Grand Rising Collective, we are a collective made up of myself, Kyle Dixon, and Coyote Bentley, educators, entrepreneurs, here not only enlighten you, but to inform you and empower you at the same time. And hopefully this gives you the onus and gives you the energy and the initiative to go out and like change yourself and change your community. So just give you a little bit of background on myself. I'm an educator slash entrepreneur. I've been an educator for close to 20 years. And I've worked in multiple communities in the Midwest, down South, and here on the East Coast. So in reference of my background, I'm bringing in that expertise and bringing some information that hopefully will benefit you and your family and those around you. And that way we can allow ourselves to be better and be great. So the term Grand Rise Collective is based off the fact of a morning uh, greeting. So grand rising, meaning getting up in the morning, grand rising, rising to the occasion, meaning being your best for the entire day, for the entire week, for the entire month, for the entire year. So it's a constant reminder for us to be at our best and be excellent. Okay. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Bentley. Take it away, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Always an honor. You know that already. Like Kyle said in regards to the Grand Rising Collective, I can't add anything more to what he said. What I can say is in regards to my involvement with the Grand Rising Collective. I am president and founder of an organization called 4T's Teaching Teams to Think, whose mission and objective is to help inner city youth identify their inherent skill set, meaning what they do naturally, so that way they can excel in their education in order to establish a career, or finish their formal education, higher education, establish a career, and ultimately start a business if they choose to. My organization is dedicated to a demographic that exists of teens 16 to 24, which conversations happen in the bubble. So the reason why I'm involved in Grand Rising Collective is because it gives me an opportunity to disseminate that information to the community at large. That includes parents, that includes community organizers and leaders, as well as businesses and just different people within the community in order to help build the community in this economic environment and just strengthen the community, long and short of it. I think it's also important that you understand who's speaking to you and who you're talking to. So in that regard, it's also important to know that I'm also a professor at Fordham University, as well as sit on the advisory board of LIU Long Island University. So this is and I come from, in addition, over 20 years in corporate, which is information technology. So this is us here together. We're sharing this information, and without any further delay, we have an honored guest. This woman is young adult, excuse me, is amazing, and I'm really excited to hear what she has to share with us. As I term it, a voice of inner city young people, inner city youth, and particularly inner city young ladies. So I have a lot to learn. I'm sure Kyle agrees. We'll learn a lot from her. We hope all of you who are listening will learn from this young lady, because I can say from personal experience, she has taught me a lot as well. I'm very impressed. So again, without any further delay, Miss T, or Teiara Debrah Afful. If I said it right, Afful.
Do we get it right?
Right. Please introduce yourself and basically, state your name and tell us, I know that's a big, broad question, but just tell us about yourself, whether you're a student, where you work, and, just whatever else you would like to share in this intro.
Well, hello. I'm Teiara Debrah Afful. I'm 18. I'm a college student at BMCC. What I'm majoring in is human services. If you guys don't know what that is, it's social work and stuff like that, I'm a very outgoing person. I'm very passionate on things that I would like to do. I'm very opinionated. Yeah, I'm an aggressive person. So I go hard for certain things that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready for the questions. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You ready? So, Kyle, as we do normally, but I know if it's
I know. Go first, bro. Go in, man. Yes, yes. See, I already know
I set it up.
how you start.
All right. So my question that I want to ask you is, who inspired you growing up, and who inspires you now, if they're different? So who's your inspiration to?
I would say growing up would be my mom, for the simple fact as I believe in her family. On her side of the family, she was the only one who went to college from like her mom's side. So out of my siblings, I'm the first one to go to college because my older sister, she took a different route. Yeah, I'm proud of that, but now I feel like I should take a different route. You know, college is not for everyone, but still be able to say that you tried. So, yeah, I'm still young and I still want to weigh out my options. But as of right now, I feel like with my everyday routine and like how our lives was moving forward before quarantine started, I felt like college wasn't really fitting into my schedule, so I wanted to do something different. And now that everything is like virtual, it's even harder for me. So I'm not saying that I'm not eligible to push through. I'd rather take a different route and it not be easier, but it'll be understandable for me so I can get through it.
You struggle.
Who inspires me now? I would say the people that I'm surrounded with, the people that I work with, the people that's in my household, my friends, stuff like that. Even myself. Because some things that I have done, I would have never have done if I would have never pushed through. So.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Tim. Go ahead, Cal. Just shoot them out.
Oh, okay. Then if you had like a follow-up question. So Teiara, I know you mentioned like with your sister going through the college experience. What about the experience? I know either during the quarantine or before the quarantine, they start to kind of sway you out of that, because I know a lot of times with say college isn't for everyone, which is very true. And I know some people look at like, well, college, everybody should go to college, but why do you feel like it's not seeming to kind of fit in your schedule? Like what things about it?
I'm not gonna lie here. I'm a procrastinator.
Okay.
like it depends. Certain things I would do when it's right there, or I'll just wait it out. Like I can really say my first college experience, it wasn't bad, but it was bad. Only for the reason is that when you're transitioning from high school to college, it's something very different. And when I first started college, I was happy, but it's like I still had the mindset of a high schooler. So like when I finally took into consideration that college is something totally different, and like it's something way different, and I fell down in the tracks because I was being lazy. So yeah, my first semester of college, well, going to school, it went downhill, and then now second semester is downhill again. I'm not gonna blame it on Corona, because it's not Corona's fault. It's my fault that I wasn't doing the work and stuff like that. But it's a lot of things that add up to it. But I'm not gonna blame it on every situation. I'm gonna blame it on myself for not wanting to take the initiative to do it. So I'm not saying that I'm gonna stop, but I'm saying like I don't want to do college right now. I would rather take a different route so it can lead me back into there, or just wait it out a little bit more and see what I really want to do. Because I don't want to rush things and then I get a degree in something that I can't find a career in later, and then it's too hard. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to have my ideas set, my options weighed out. I feel like I didn't weigh out my options when I came out of high school. I feel like I rushed inside of school, and that's what made me fall down.
Do you think because I remember we talked about this too as well. And I know with your personal life and personal obligations and responsibilities, makes it difficult for you to fully concentrate in regards to education, college, right? Because you're doing part-time. And we talked about a program that you're in the BMCC called ASAP. Is it ASAP? ASAP?
Yeah, ASAP. Great program.
Right. Do you think that had you been able to go to college full-time, that you would still feel like college isn't for you and you would still need to take some time off before going to college? Or, you know?
I feel like if I was a full-time student, my schedule would be full. And if my schedule would be full, then I would be attending every day.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's what messed me up at, because, you know, college, you can make your own schedule, you know, your classes. That's what messed me up, because I'm so used to being in school from 8 hours straight, you know? So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, transitioning from high school to college, it was hard, even though I was going to community college and stuff like that. I felt like it was still hard just to transition, and, you know, everything is thrown at you before you reach there. So it's like learning everything on your own, finding everything on your own was like, wow. Yeah.
Would you say it was overwhelming?
Yeah.
Okay.
At first, the first semester it was, because it was just like, you know, with a professor, you know, when you first get there, they give you the syllabus and stuff like that. And then they tell you to email them. But then I'm like, I have my own personal life. So it's like, I don't want to bother you, you know? And then it's like, when you don't email, you should have emailed, you know? It's just, I blame it on being a teenager. It's what it does to you.
So, hold on. So would it, I'm sorry, Kyle, I just got to throw this question.
No, go ahead.
Would it have been helpful if your professor said, it's not a bother, email me whenever, I'm here to help you? Would that have taken some of that apprehension away, you think?
Yeah.
Communication.
I wish all of them was like that.
Okay. And they're all not like that. So all
No.
Not like.
I know that story. Yeah, so Teiara, like, oh man, you just bring back memories for me. Like, it's like that transition is real. Like you make a great point. Like transition is real from high school to like college level, and like you said, they're just throwing stuff at you, and they expect you to already be there. And it's just like, dude, like what the hell is going on here? Like I'm trying to get there, you know.
Seriously.
What are some ways that like maybe like you and your peers, like what are some ways that you and your peers were able to kind of make that adjustment, even though slowly, but you making a slight adjustment? Or do you feel like you making that adjustment won't matter as far as keeping up on your work at the time? Like, do you feel like the adjustment was hard, or if you do finally make the adjustment, that'll be kind of like too late?
I don't know. With me, I adjusted things very quickly, you know, because I feel like once you have it, it's like you have it. So it's like you have to like, I don't know how to say it. You have to like, it's like you have to turn it around and create it in your own way. So like that, you can feel comfortable and stuff like that. But I would say, I even though it was like a very hard transition, I feel like when second semester came around, I adjusted very quickly. It made me feel better to start school again and be back on track. Yeah. It made me feel like I should be able to do more now, because now I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm back on track. Everything's going good. Yeah. And then boom, Corona.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah.
Corona.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things I want to bring up. One of which is not a question, it's more of a statement, and it has to do in reference to time management and the poor job that the Department of Education is doing in preparing inner city youth, but particularly inner city youth for college and that transition that Teiara was talking about. So time management is just something I just want to throw out there for you, T, to look into. The other thing I want to add, now this is the question. So the question is, with you transitioning, right, from what it seems like taking a break from college, if I heard you correctly, to see what's out there because you don't want to study something that after you get the degree is no longer valid or valuable once you graduate, and yet you're stuck with this tuition bill that you got to pay, which we talked about. What to take it back, or let me, you know how I do with the 5-year plan. What were or are your job and or career plans over the next 5 years? What specifically related with the decision that you might be making today that to some degree may be delaying college, not exclude college, because I'm not a fan of college either. You know, college ain't for everybody. But with this transition that you're making, because you know what I do, I get you to think. So my question is, where do you see yourself 5 years from now in the area of a job or career with or without or with limited progress, I guess, or inclusion of college?
I would say that I feel like I would let me see. I feel like I would have, I wouldn't say have, but I would say I'll be working probably towards my associates in something.
Okay.
I don't know what it would be. I really wanted to do nursing, but when I got to the school, it was like, it was too many science and math. I didn't want to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I was even told that some students that was doing nursing at BMCC, they switched their major because it was too much.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
I would say I would stick with the same degree plan that I have for human services. Only reason because it's like I feel like I see myself within that field.
Okay.
I do like to help people. I feel like my advice is very great. And people need that helping hand. Doesn't matter if it's just one person. You know, people do need a support system, and I feel like I come with that. So I would say probably in the next 2 to 3 years, I would be almost getting my associates in that. I don't know if I really want that to be my career, but I would say I would be working my way up in, you know, that area with the social work and stuff like that. Yeah, like with ACS, you know, it's like a good paying job. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I want to weigh out my options because right now I sound decisive but undecisive. Like I'm trying to get to that point where I want to be like, all right, this is where I want to work. This is what I want to do. I'm happy with it because right now at the state, I don't want to be working a job. You know.
Right.
No, I don't want to work a job. You know.
Yes, I know.
All right.
I
And
work
Teiara,
in
just
a corporation or something like that. You know, it's feel good.
yeah, or create your own job, or create your own corporation.
Yeah, be like an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine. I have a few friends of mine who do psychology work, and they have their own companies. They have their own services. So they have like multiple offices, or they have one office. So they started off working for someone, then they broke off and started doing their own practice. So that also, Teiara, like the term job, the acronyms. I love these acronyms, but they say job, J-O-B is just over broke. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to just have a job for life. You want something that fulfills you. And I think just as we are all talking, I think the fact that you're already thinking about that idea of having something that's fulfilling you, but also paying the bills is letting us know. And I think in your subconscious, letting you know that you're already looking ahead and looking further into your life and where you want to. And that alone is a process. and just embrace it, because the fact that you're even thinking about stuff like that, in fact, it means you're already ahead of a lot of your peers, unfortunately. But hopefully people like you getting in those positions are very key, because you will help to change those dynamics for the next person. And like you said, that one person changes a whole family. You got to think like, as an educator, they taught us, don't teach a person. That person goes back into that family and changes that whole dynamic of that family. It's like a cell, you know. So it's energy is contagious, as they say. So, you know, I just want to give you that kind of heads up, like, you know, you're already on it. So you're already on the path. So that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So real quick, Teiara, to go back into like your reason you chose the profession. Why do you think it's important, like for you in your community, from your upbringing, to go into that home health services or just social work? Like, what had you noticed growing up or just in your life that led you to that?
Actually, I'm gonna use my mom.
Okay.
Because she actually has a bachelor's degree in human services. So she didn't actually get to work within her field. So right now she's a supervisor at for you. So by her hearing that she got a bachelor's degree in social work and didn't really get to do anything with it, it made me want to do that. Even though I feel like I fit within that field too, it made me still want to come out and do something around that. Not to mention, she's my inspiration. And out of like every other like major, I feel like that one really interests me. I mean, it's fine. And we get like psychology and criminal justice is fine, but I'm like, I don't want to do that. I do, but I don't hit me with that in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just get this out the way now, you know, making like 100,000, you know, something like that. Just be around there, you know, and then hit me with that, you know, like in the long run, you know. Don't hit me with that now.
Wow.
Yeah, so I felt like that, and not to say like take the easy way out, but this was kind of like laid down for me. And actually it turned out to be that I really liked it. Okay. Because in my human services class, I actually learned about a lot that I didn't even know. And that's great too. You know, we learn things every day, we grow every day. So I feel like by me just taking that experience and learning something and learning from other people is better. It can help me, like, after I graduate college and receive the things that I receive and I want to get a job, stuff like that. I can share my information with the people who's there to get help, my colleagues and stuff like that. Even for the youth, you know, the young people, they need to know things.
Like, you need to know things. All right, so it's going to seem like I'm taking this back, but there's a method to my madness. Quick question. Like, when I ask the all young people, various age ranges, what you want to do when you grow up? A lot of the time, I want to be a doctor. I want to be, you know, a psychologist, you know, besides the typical basketball player and musical artist and celebrity and stuff like that. Aside from those generics, I'm curious to know, T, when you were younger, do you remember if someone asked you a question, oh, you're so cute, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you told them I wanted to be a doctor, whatever, if that's what it was. And now you are grown because you're there, you're in college, that you almost right there. Has it changed? Now, obviously it did. You wanted to be, I think you mentioned you wanted to be something, and then you was like, oh, there's too much math and science in there. I don't want to do that. I'll go on human service.
Actually, I do remember, and I was asked this question again when I was in school. Like when the second semester first started, my human services teacher, she asked this to us. When I was younger, I really wanted to be a lawyer
Okay.
and a singer.
Okay.
but I could have done. I could have went into criminal justice and stuff like that, and could have chose to do law school, but
And why law? And why law, Teiara? Like why a lawyer?
because I feel like on my part, how I am, I'm very defensive. And like my aggression and like me having my own opinions, I felt like that fit that category. And I like to debate. It's fun. Pros and cons. It's really good. Oh yeah, back to your question. It has changed because I wanted to be a lawyer and I wanted to be a professional singer. Yeah. I don't know what really changed the dynamic because when I was in high school, like I said, I wanted to do nursing. So then when I got to college, it was like, it could have been those three things, like criminal justice, nursing, or human services. So nursing, it was too much. I would say it would have been too much for me. And I would say that criminal justice would have been the same. So I chose human services because that would have been like out of the three options. Yeah, I didn't want to choose a major that I was going to switch out, you know. I didn't change my major. I didn't want to feel like I'm flip-flopping all over the place, you know.
Yeah. And it's interesting here because like I had the same thing when I was going to school because like I was an English major. So I went after my undergrad, I wanted to go into law in reference of being an entertainment lawyer. A lot of people don't know that, but I've shared that like with some of my peers and students. And what I found out is, and what I see a common thread in yours seems to be about service, like helping people. There seems to be like a common thread in between all three of those in different aspects, but all dealing with like assisting, helping people, solving problems. So maybe that's something you could look into, you know, and again, you know, like you said, you never know, like you could get that degree or get those skills and then still like after that go into one of those other options. So, you know, that's something to think about. But let me ask you this too, in reference to school, how has the quarantine either benefited you or helped you as far as like school or just your like social life? Because I know like with a lot of my students, you know, the social life thing like is just wrecked for them, you know, but you know, for you it might not be the case. So how has the quarantine like helped you or hindered you in like school and your personal life?
Actually I just wrote this on Snapchat. I would actually say a little bit before quarantine started, to get in my personal life, I had just got out of a relationship. So right now, like I had moved back home with my mom. I have my own room, so I feel like me being in my own space, I needed that, like to be separated, and it feels good. I feel good in here. I can say like mentally, I'm in a state where I can say that I'm happy within myself. And it feels good, you know, wake up every morning. I still have some things to work on, but I've learned, I can say by being in the house and just doing nothing, I've learned a lot about myself. Especially with school. I haven't opened Blackboard in like a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. I've tried to like do the work, and it's just too much. I don't understand. It's just too much to balance when you're in a house. It's I don't get it. Yeah, but I see on social media like a lot of people, they're either working on themselves, trying to change their diet, be healthy. I've tried, it didn't work. I'm just procrastinating. But it's just not something that it's over, you know, because if quarantine lifts, then, you know, it's, you know, we still have our social lives to get back to outside, but, you know, it all starts from here because we're in the house. So yeah, I could say I'm happy right now. Feeling good.
It's good. Let me ask you just to piggyback real quick. Like, are there anything like as far as your teachers, your professors, is there anything with their lesson that is not appealing, that's making you not clock in, or is it just the load that they're dropping on you all? Like, you know, and it might not be, but I'm asking, I know I'm having this issue with some of my students as well.
Yeah.
It's like someone totally disengaged, or someone was like, well, the work is just crazy. So
Yeah, I would say for my my art history professor, she's ODing. All I see is emails and emails and emails, like stuff like that. That doesn't grab my attention. Like that just makes me upset, because it's like, because it's all right. I understand if a teacher wants to send out the work so everybody does it, and it's a difference when your teacher actually emails you and tells you that you need to do this and you need to do that. And I understand everything is online, and she's trying her best so like that we all don't fail the class. But I'm like, I understand that it was hard for them to switch over to virtual teaching, but I'm like, you have to be understanding and lenient too. Yeah. And like, you know, professors, they're not gonna hand you the work. You have to find it yourself, and that's understandable too. I have the access and everything. But I just feel like I know within myself I'm not gonna do the work. So I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't bother. I know I'm not gonna do the work, and I know it's just gonna be sitting there. So I didn't. I mean, I'll look at the emails and stuff like that. It's mainly it's literally mainly just notes, like reading, turning in notes and stuff like that. And then we had a project due. You see, quarantine messed everything up because I had to go to the museum. I didn't even get there. Everything closed. That wasn't fair. And then that's another thing. They don't. I'm not saying they. I'm saying like certain professors. Like how their class is structured within the syllabus, and like how they are too. They don't want to hear, oh, that's not an excuse. You had more than enough time. You know, stuff like that. So like they're like more of a strip. They're not really sympathetic on that part.
Wow. You're hearing it from actual young adult
right
like this.
Straight from the source, family. So
Okay. All right. So again, I get into somewhat philosophical questions, and I remember when I was young, and I want to share something with you, T. I think Cal already know as well. But I went through the same kind of dilemma in college too. I went to Cardinal High School, and I went to my guidance counselor. My guidance counselor told me the best school to go to would be Alfred State College upstate. And the reason why the counselor suggested Alfred State College among a couple of other colleges was because the counselor asked me, what do I want to do? You know, and I didn't know. This is why my organization is helping you and young people like you identify what you do naturally. So that way, when you go to college, you have some idea of what you do naturally that you'll naturally excel in. So fast forward, I went up there, and my dad, the answer to the counselor's question was, since my dad is in architecture, I want to do architecture since my dad is in architecture. Well, I get up there and they have me drawing machine parts, like in a watch, man, big mistake. I end up switching. So my major was computer technology or something like that. I think, no, it wasn't even computer technology. It was something in architecture. Something was my major. I forgot what it was. And then after the first semester, I was flunking. I was feeling it. There's a whole bunch of, the campus that I had to go to was off campus about 30 minutes. I didn't have a car, so I had to catch a bus, and there's only 3 buses that ran, and they started at 4:30 in the morning. I didn't have the money to buy the necessary tools, protractors, and stuff like that. So to your point, T, and your whole experience, yeah, I think you're right on track. Like Kyle says, at least you knew going in that you didn't want to switch in between. I didn't know that, and I ended up switching in between. So I just wanted to share that with you. When I was younger, I didn't have any clue as to what I was going to do as far as a career, but I knew where I wanted to live. So I wanted to live, this is high school, right? High school going to college. I knew that I'm just going to go to college. Hopefully it's the right college. I get a degree, and I make enough money where I can live like I think it was Jersey I wanted to live in. I wanted to live in a high rise, and I wanted I'm not playing. I wanted the walls.
Going up by the Jeffersons, huh?
Right? And I wanted the walls to be the windows. You know those apartments where, you know, it's no windowsill, but the whole, I'm saying I had the central living room. I'm serious. I had it all planned out. So what I'm saying, I said all that to say, to ask you, T, like, I know it's kind of different. When you were younger, where did you think you would be at this age? Right? Where did you think you would? Did you think you would be still where you're living now? Did you think you would have already had that job that you wanted? Did you think you would be living where, you know, where did you think you would have been now?
When I was younger, actually, I thought I would be like, I would have my own place by now. Because my mom always used to say, oh, when you're 18, you know, you're going to be on your own, you know. You know, parents, they always change their mind too.
My mom, she's like, when you out, you out. So go ahead.
I see. I know she's talking about a little bit. Like you said, but you said this. Well, I changed my mind, or you know, or they just roll with a different. Like, but you said this.
Right. So that was that. But as of right now, I would say when I got to 9th grade, 10th grade, my mom, we was actually supposed to move to Florida. So technically, right now, I wasn't even supposed to be here. You would have never knew me.
Right.
Well, you would have knew me because I started going to the club, but I would have left though.
Okay.
So the plan was to move. No, after 8th grade, we were supposed to move to Florida. So I was really supposed to do high school in Florida. Yeah, graduate high school out there and stuff like that. But if that plan would have still been like how it was, then I would have been over there. I probably wouldn't have been going to college out there and stuff like that. So I feel like the dynamic of that would have been better. It would have felt better to not, you know, because New York, you know, it's garbage. But it's still where the money's at, but that's not the point, you know. The point is to do something that you want to do. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I felt like Florida would have been good.
Okay. Did you know what college you wanted? Were you thinking along? Did you have at that young age? I know a lot of y'all not thinking that far, especially in relation to college. Did you have a college in mind? Did you think you would be somewhere else besides BMCC?
No. My mom, she wanted me to apply to Florida State University.
FSU.
See, she wanted me to do that because she thought that she was going to move. But if I would have done that, I would have never been. Well, I would have been home because of Corona, but I wouldn't have been home. So I felt like that would have separated me from a lot of things. Because if I would have went to Florida State, I would have never had a job. I would have never been where I am right now with my job. I believe my college experience would have been different. I probably would have said that I would have like finished and been proud of my grades and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Kyle?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, you know, I definitely see, because even my friends down south right now that like they're going out, like they're going out more than we are here. So it's just like, man, like, I mean, they're quarantined, but I mean, they're really still going out and doing stuff. So
like Atlanta's open.
Right. Even though I've heard they have a few small cases of a second wave. Yeah, I've heard a little bit of that. But yeah, like, so like, I know you mentioned like, you know, procrastination and things like that. I think we all suffer from that, you know, to some degree, you know. How do you feel like here's only instance, like being a teen, because you're from Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
BK. Okay. All right. BK all day, as they say. Brook Nom.
Hey.
So All right, so how is it like unique being like just growing up in Brooklyn? It's like for those who, because we have people who watch all over. So like, what is unique, so unique about Brooklyn, growing up in Brooklyn, and how has I guess Brooklyn adjusted to the quarantine?
Growing up in Brooklyn, I would say that it it's a lot. I would say I most definitely changed when I moved over here, because originally I was born in Brooklyn Hospital, but I didn't live in Fort Greene. So I lived in Mill Basin. So over there is like, the houses and stuff like that. When we moved from Mill Basin to Flatbush to Fort Greene. So I would say by being over here and going to school with the kids who live over here, and I would say it changed a lot of my personality, how I speak, how I was before, the things that I surround myself now. If I would have never knew none of them, then I would have just been, I would say like how we say it now in slang, I would say like, not from over here. So yeah, I would have been like not from the hood, because I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't live in the projects, I didn't live in the projects. I didn't know how it was. So like just adapting to that over the years from being in elementary school, it did change a lot. It did. The group of friends I made, it would have been different. Living in Brooklyn, you see a lot, you hear a lot, you experience a lot. I would say that you can have fun in Brooklyn, you just got to be safe. You have to be aware. I would tell everybody to come to New York just to see how it is. Everybody likes to go to Manhattan. I don't understand why. It's nothing there. I would say for them to come to Brooklyn, because they have a lot of stuff in Brooklyn, even though Manhattan is like the star of New York. Brooklyn is where it's at. Everybody bashes Brooklyn, Bronx, but I'm not
gonna say nothing to them. Okay?
Like, this is like, I would say Brooklyn is like one of the main boroughs that everybody mentions and stuff. Oh yeah, I went to Brooklyn. Yeah, I would say from my experience, it's really laid back. I'm not done experiencing Brooklyn. It's a lot of things that I still want to do, but as of right now, I would say it's calm. I wouldn't recommend that this is somewhere that anybody would want to live coming in.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend Brooklyn. I would recommend like Queens. Or
why? Like why?
Because they have like cheaper houses out there.
Okay.
Brooklyn became more expensive. New York is expensive in general, but Brooklyn, I feel like out of the one boroughs, Brooklyn became really expensive. Everybody's moving either out of state or to deep in the Bronx or Staten Island, Long Island, deep in Queens. Yeah, it's like you can get a house out there and pay. I don't even know, but from what I'm hearing, it's a little bit less from just living in the projects or living in a 3-story house, stuff like that.
Yeah, woo. I didn't want to get between that BK Bronx there. I didn't.
We ain't got no beef. She cool. Yeah, I let her rock. She can rock.
But like Teiara saying, family, like Brooklyn is one of the densely populated boroughs, if not the densely populated borough in all of New York. It has 2.4 million people. If Brooklyn was a city by itself, it'd be the 4th largest city in America. So just about that.
Wow.
And so I mean, Brooklyn is a vibe. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Town. I'm in Harlem, and I got love for Harlem, but Brooklyn is definitely a vibe. And Teiara's on point when she said.
Whatever.
It is like it just has a different feel.
Whatever.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
The
you know what I'm
Bronx
saying?
created it.
It's all right.
Brooklyn.
All right.
I'm playing. See, I'm playing.
It's all right, Kay. It's all right. I like the Bronx too, but it be like the main Bronx area, like 149, 161.
Right.
Dirty over there. I don't want to be over there. I want like deep, right?
Yo, they are updating the Bronx. Cut it out. They
Hey, yo, man,
updated it.
I got love for the BX, man. I worked in the BX, man. I got love. I got to throw it up, man. I got love for the BX. No,
Yeah.
I'm neutral. I'm neutron. As in Chicago, I'm neutron. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let me ask this question. I'm glad you mentioned it. We're gonna close it out, T. I thank you so much for giving us your time. Really appreciate it. We got I just want to ask, I think 2 more questions. Cal, please feel free to ask 2 more. Then we're gonna let T go because I know she's busy. She in Brooklyn. It's Saturday, sunny. I'm glad you wore your mask, though. I'm glad you wore your mask. You wear your mask this week.
I gotta get another one. See, you making me want to wear them.
Oh, you got the designer mask or the regular mask?
I have two. I have 2 surgical ones, but I want to get like a cloth one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to get that one because I feel like this one is breaking up my skin a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you gotta switch it up.
Yeah. I have 2. I do. Okay. I have the pink one and I have a white one, but I want to get a cloth one because the cloth one will help my face. So
yeah, feel better on your skin.
Right, if you get a store out there, try and get a box of them. All right, so let me ask this question real quick so I can let you go because I don't want you tied up on Mr. K. So here we go. This is outside my list of questions, but how has you mentioned that a lot of people are moving out of Brooklyn, so that leads me to the question that I would have with y'all. I had this conversation with y'all a couple of times over the years. Gentrification. How have you noticed the impact of gentrification in that area where you live in Brooklyn? Has it affected you? Have you noticed it affected, just the area? Just in general, what are your thoughts on that?
Most definitely. I would say it has changed me, but I feel like the generation that I grew up in and like the people that I went to school with, I feel like I know what I'm doing, Everybody knows right from wrong, but not everybody knows what to do with right and wrong.
Ooh,
so I feel like even though everybody's past is not perfect, but I would say that I feel like I've matured very well. Mm-hmm. I was aware of my surroundings, and I feel like that the generations that's after us they're suffering horribly, and it's not good. Main reason I would say my little brother.
Yeah. Okay.
The people that he hangs around with and he goes to school with, all these little boys, they want to be gang affiliated. And, my mom, like where we grew up at, it's like it was never like that until we moved over here. So I feel like me moving back home is more of a big impact on him because I can pull him away from his friends and show him like this is not what you want to do. Trust me. I've grew around the kids that I went to school with. I've grew around them and look where they at now.
Mm-hmm. How has
or have beef? I don't want my little brother in that because I'm not even gonna lie. If he dies today or tomorrow, I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
I know.
So I'm trying to be the role model to him. You don't always have to be outside. Go to school, go play ball, but make sure you come home and stuff like that. Yeah. Don't be afraid to call anybody. If you need help, call. I'm here, just to make sure that he has that because I don't want him to get in the path where if, whatever floats your boat. But if you're going to take the route that you're going to take, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. And people, not everyone, but people tend to do that because, they just they have the adrenaline. They want to do that. But then now, when you're stuck in something you can't get yourself out of, it's an issue.
Gotcha. So thank you for sharing that regarding the generations. So, but how does gentrification, like the new crowd or culture moving into your community?
Yeah, white folks moving in, basically.
Yeah, but I was trying to, keep it professional. I didn't want to But
You should
yeah, how has that affected?
She know what's up. White folks coming in and they trying to take over. You know what I'm saying?
I got a good one.
Uh-oh.
All right, so I live downtown Brooklyn, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Don't give too much of your personal location out, man.
No, because all you see is condos and like complexes, right?
Mhm.
So what I'm seeing is that like across the street from the projects, they built another complex.
Yep.
They're just building a whole. They're just condos everywhere, and I feel like building that around the projects is not good because we all come from two different sides, and that can cause conflict. But I would say for myself, it doesn't make me feel weird. It just makes the community more more packed.
Okay.
It doesn't really bother me, but I'm like, it's not only white people. You have the Chinese, you have the Muslim people. It's not just one race, and I'm not one of those people. I'm a very diverse person. So if that's what you're gonna do it. That doesn't bother me. But it will be different if they're doing what they're doing and it's interfering with how we do things in our neighborhood. That doesn't roll. That's not fair. But as far as that, it doesn't bother me. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm cool with it.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Cal. And I'm hit with the last question, but
yeah. So I'm glad you said that, Teiara, because right, and I said earlier, white folks, because when people think of gentrification, they do think of white folks, but gentrification actually, family, is also anyone, any race or any ethnicity. I don't like to use the term race, but any ethnicity coming to a community and improving the community, physical or asset value, raising up property value, etc. So it could be black, it could be white, or whatever. So people are like, oh, you said white folk, like I want people to spaz out on that. But I want to ask you this too. And how can two questions actually? One, how can we help you all be at your best? Because I know a lot of times I feel like, well, those don't be understanding, they be spazzing out, whatever, And two, what are some of your things like for inspiration that you go to for inspiration at the time, like music or movies or whatever?
Right. I would say music, most definitely. Mr. K knows this. I would say music because I'm a very shut down person, so I need something to calm me down. If it's not myself just being alone, I need something to hear. And I would say for movies, quarantine took me totally away from movies. I stopped watching movies, TV, everything. So I would say most definitely music. Not to mention I sing too, so it helps me clear my head and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. And so how can we help you all just in general with youth? Like what do you want us from your perspective to understand? Maybe one thing that like we maybe miscomprehend or like we don't get it, but like if we just took the time to talk to somebody, maybe we would, or
I would say to always have a developing relationship with the youth. So like that you can still get to learn. To still have that experience with them and to know what they're still going through. Even though we all went through the same thing, it's just everybody goes through the same thing differently. So I would say, to either have or try to keep developing a relationship with them. Because we're all still growing, but they're the ones who really need the most help.
Thank you, T. Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
One final question. It's a big one, T. I hope you're ready. Here we go. Teiara, here it comes. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What's your 5-year plan?
2025.
Are we gonna say 2026?
Okay.
Everybody just
Okay.
We're gonna say 2026.
Okay.
For Like I said, I feel like with right now, I feel like I would have my associates.
Okay.
And I feel like I would be getting a position,
Okay.
within that ACS. I feel like I see myself there.
Okay.
I wouldn't know which level yet because I don't want to just put myself somewhere. Yeah, you start off at one level and you move up in ranking.
Okay.
You find somewhere else you want to be and you move up from there. I would say that.
Okay. All right. So I want to emphasize this, Cal, and then we'll close it out. And I have opportunities to talk with you more, so I appreciate that. But I want you to start. I want to leave this analogy with you. A dream remains a dream when it's not written down, right?
Yeah.
So there's a difference between a dream and a goal, right? So
Mhm.
I don't want you to be afraid of planning where you want to be exactly, because the more detailed information you give your mind or your brain, the more you'll operate and get to that destination. So I don't want you to be afraid of that. What I want you to do is just think real, seriously about where you would like to envision yourself, and write that down and make that as specific as possible. I don't want you to be afraid or apprehensive. So that's just my suggestion. Because you do that, you might not get it exactly, but you'll get close to it. And as you develop and get there, you'll discover different things, and you'll upgrade it or modify it or what have you. But at least you'll be on track towards something. You won't be, you know what I'm saying? It won't be out of your control. It'll be more in your control, whereas you control your life and not leave your life to the control of others. So we'll talk more about that at length, and we'll have a part two. We'll bring you back on here. But I just wanted to leave that with you, just for you to think about it, and don't be. So I get the sense that you're apprehensive about making any specific decisions of where you're going to be in 5 years, but I want to impress upon you how beneficial that is for you. Once you make a plan. Yeah. That's my final question, Kyle, and then then we'll give our little hashtags and handles and stuff like that, because Teiara probably got 30 of them. But go ahead.
No, it's not. I'm appreciating the time that she's able to give us to talk to us, because I was looking forward to this because, again, I'm always interested in what you all are thinking about, because you all are next up. You all are now, but are you all also next up? Meaning, we need to be paying a lot of attention to you all now to make sure that you all are on your right path, not the path we think is just the best for you. Of course, we have high expectations for you all, but that you don't want to get into, hey, well, I want you to be a lawyer. I want you to be a lawyer. You're like, well, I appreciate law, but I don't want to do it. I want to do something else. I think I'd be more beneficial to myself and society by doing this. So, I think us asking you these questions is us really going to listen to you and your peers to get an idea of how we can better serve you all and better help you all as well. But I appreciate you spending time with us. I'm saying, like I said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here on this platform. You could have been eating cereal. I don't know your quarantine snack regimen, but you could have been anywhere. But so we appreciate that. Really, Teiara, just to end it off, who is someone, or let's say, what type of qualities? I know you mentioned it earlier, but what type of qualities do you want to have in 5 years? Let me ask that question.
That's a good question.
Because I know you say you procrastinate, so is that something you want to carry into 5 years from now? Let's
No.
Okay,
I would say to still be the person I am, but to still work on myself. So procrastination, no. I want to work on that. That's something I need to work on anyway. So I would say that most definitely. To still be outspoken and opinionated, and to still be myself, I'm guessing. Yeah. To just be me, just still carry on what I do, but to what do you call that? To perfect it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Without the procrastination. Got you. All right. So this concludes our Grand Rising Collective with Teiara. I hope you learned a lot. She's no joke. I learned a lot from her. I'm privileged. I get this. She works with me. We work together now, so I'm very proud of her. So if you want to reach me, you can reach me via Twitter and I think Instagram at Balogun Logic, Balogun Logic. I have 3 channels, Perspective TV. You see me on there with my pop talking about influences that I feel people who have impact on the community. We talk about everything from relationships, education, culture, candidate advisory, where I give personal advice in regards to those same or similar areas as well. And then my channel where I talk about scriptures and stuff like that and just give insight on beliefs and things of that nature. So those are the social media channels you can reach me on, as well as the Grand Rising Collective. So thank you so much. And I hand it over to Kyle, and then we're going to hand it over to Teiara to give y'all her handles or whatever she feels here. Kyle, sorry, bro.
Yes, indeed, family. So yes, family, thank you for spending time with us on this Grand Rising Collective. You can reach me at KEASY773 on Twitter. That's KEZ773. You can reach me at DIX_KYLE on Instagram. I'm also Mr. Kyle Dixon on YouTube. So those are the multiple platforms you can reach me on. Send me a shout out, give me a holler, send me a message. I'll definitely get back to you. And again, you know, like this is really just a platform for us to build on and to really have that initiative and get that information so we can move accordingly with that. You know, quarantine or no quarantine, it still goes on. You know what I'm saying? So, without further ado, I want to let our guests, you know, her closing remarks and her tags and all that good stuff.
Well, all right. It was a great session. I am Teiara. My Instagram is Teiara Mulan. TEIARA period MULAN. Teiara Mulan. All right. This was great. I like this.
Aw.
Yeah.
Thank you, P. Yeah. Hey, Cal. What you got?
Oh yeah. Hey, as you see, we do work over here. It's nothing about what we do that is miniature. Nothing what we do about it that's insignificant. We come with it all the time. We hope that this session was beneficial for you and yours, and we hope that during this time of the quarantine that you and yours are blessed, safe, sound, healthy, doing what you do, loving on each other, caring about one another, and hopefully this provides you with enough information. If not, definitely leave comments down below. We love y'all leave the comments, so please do that. Please share, because we love when you do that too, to get that information out there, share the love, and especially when you like the page as well. So all those things, subscribe, share, and like. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. So that's important for us to keep the platform going and let us know like what you feel, how you feel about our show, our podcast. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. And without further ado, peace and blessings to you and yours. See you next time. All right.
Peace.
Yeah. Baby, yeah. You know, say ready on this. You know I have patience.